Legend has it that there is a half dog, half man roaming around the woods. I met him, the Youngstown Dogman guy. And today I'm sharing a few more crazy real life sightings with you. Georgia is the setting of our next story. The experience is shared by Nick. He was rafting with friends when he had to answer a call of nature. When he stopped in a clearing, a genetically mixed entity of man, wolf, and primate suddenly stepped out. I spent 21 years in the Army, all over the world and in 3 different theaters of war. And I have barely slept at all since seeing this thing. An enormous canine type creature. I can still taste the fear in my throat and my own vomit. I am 6 foot tall and about 250 pounds, solid pounds. And this thing dwarfed me. At least 8'6" and maybe 400, 500 pounds. As a former college and semi-pro football player and power lifter, I know about big people and about strength and musculature, and this was no normal creature that evolved somehow in that environment. I can promise you this is not something anyone would want to encounter twice. Another witness in Michigan, a night security guard, said, "There ain't many things in the world that scare me. Put simply, I've seen some shit in my days, but nothing prepared me for that night." Around this time, too, I parked my car near the railroad tracks to finish up rounds in my shift. Working nights at an electric company storage yard, things could get a bit creepy, so I did carry a handgun. But this night made me rethink my job opportunities. I start checking storage shed logs, and about 5 minutes pass before I hear a snorting, almost sniffing sound coming from the other side of the tracks. I turned my light, pulled out my gun, and stood ready, but to this day, I wish I hadn't looked at all. It had pointed ears, a long muzzle, and it looked me right in the face for what seemed like an eternity before it bolted into the timber. It wasn't a mask, and it was not a person in a costume. I remember it was surreal, just like it could see into my soul. I was frozen with terror, and thank God it took off. But I now know what lurks in the dark. While tales of werewolves and other shapeshifters have existed for millennia across various cultures, documented sightings of the cryptid known as the Dog Man can be traced back to one seminal encounter in 1887. That year, 2 lumberjacks in Wexford County, Michigan, reported seeing a creature with a man's body and a dog's head while working in the woods. This highly unusual account has come to be regarded as the first known recorded dogman sighting, sparking waves of similar reports throughout parts of the American Midwest. Intriguingly enough, Native American legends from the region seem to reference creatures resembling the dog man long before European settlement. Accounts from the Ottawa tribes describe wolf-like beasts walking on 2 legs that stalk the areas near Lake Michigan. These stories suggest the possibility that Dogman existed in the region well before that fateful lumberjack sighting in 1887. Those are the ones that I personally take to heart. That's back in a time when people didn't mess around with stuff. They didn't have TV. They didn't have Finding Bigfoot shows and Dogman shows and YouTube. What purpose would they have for lying? They wouldn't. You got to take them into account, especially the Native American ones. Some cryptozoologists have noted the similarities between the Dogman and mythical features like the ancient Egyptian god Anubis, such a badass looking thing, who bore the head of a jackal, and the European legends of werewolves that date back to ancient Greece and Rome. Again, you got to take them into account. Whether these connections reflect cultural diffusion or a shared human fascination with human canine hybrids remains uncertain. Still, they indicate a long lineage of myths and folklore that may have laid the groundwork for the Dogman as we conceive of it today. In recent decades, the Dogman has captured the imaginations of the general public, in part due to its association with a particular pattern of sightings. According to local lore, the Michigan Dogman appears in a 10-year cycle with waves of encounters reported in years ending in 7. Interestingly enough, my own encounter happened in the summer of 1987. Sightings seem to spike dramatically during these years, perhaps as the result of increased vigilance and expectation among the public. Skeptics argue that this cycle is merely an artifact of collective delusion. But believers point to the consistent reports that closely follow this decade spanning pattern. Whatever the underlying cause, the cyclical nature of these sightings has cemented the Dogman status as a Michigan legend. Beyond the scattered historical accounts, a number of eyewitnesses have shared chilling firsthand accounts and encounters with the creature in contemporary times. The Beast of Bray Road over in Wisconsin. Look that one up. Though descriptions vary from case to case, certain characteristics and behaviors recur frequently throughout these accounts. Standing 7 and 9 feet tall, the Dogman is most often depicted as a powerfully built animal man thing covered in dark fur and possessing an eerily human-like gait despite its distinctly lupine head. Its eyes are said to glow amber or blue, or sometimes red, and its howl strikes witnesses as a twisted mix of canine and other animals mixed with human vocalizations. Sometimes people even say they are physically affected. Look up infrasound. Reports consistently describe the Dogman as an alarming, almost supernatural presence exuding an aura of malevolence. Beyond these ongoing sightings, chilling historical accounts offer further glimpses into the nature of the Dogman. In 1938, a fisherman named Robert Fortney fended off an attack from a pack of wild dogs in Paris, Michigan. However, when he fired his rifle into the air, one of the beasts refused to flee, instead rising on its hind legs and staring him down menacingly. Such stories continue today to drive home the intimidating presence of this creature, seemingly unafraid of making itself known even in populated areas. These and countless other eyewitness reports paint a picture of a formidable predator that strikes visceral fear into those unfortunate enough to catch its attention. So, although the dogman's origins, nature, and future impact with humans remain unsure, it's fascinating to hear the countless sightings. The dogman definitely does stalk the woods of our world. Trust me. So beware if you are headed into this journey. He may come looking for you. Please subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. I want you all to be a part of the population of Planet 412. It means the world to me that you were here today. Please take care. I'll see you all next time.